This is so good it doesn't make sense. Notebook LM from Google now lets you essentially create a podcast instantly with anything. I don't know how I feel about this. I have a daily podcast. This is really good. Let's dive into it. All right. What's going on? If you don't know, this is our AI in 5. My name's Jordan Wilson. I host Everyday AI. So we do an AI in 5 almost every single day, bringing you a quick tip trick tutorial on how to use generative AI to grow your company and to grow your career. So, new update from Google about their Notebook LM product. So, we covered this a couple of times, couple of months ago when it first came out. It was okay, right? There was some pros and cons, but let's just dive right back in and kind of check out what's new. All right. So, again, so yeah, I tested this all the way back in. It looks like November was the last time that I tried this. So here's what we're going to do, y'all. And I'll go over some of the features of Notebook LM, but really this is about the new feature, which is its ability to kind of create a podcast, listen to a conversation about your content. All right. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to copy and paste this. So this is a podcast from earlier that I did about Apple Intelligence. So right after their Apple's Glow Time event. So most of this content is a transcript. So I'm going to go in now and I'm going to create a new notebook. All right. And then I'm going to go ahead and paste this in here. So the way that this works, and the last time I reviewed this, I'll leave the video right here as well. It was okay. There was some problems, especially when you were working with multiple sources. So that's not what this video is about. And let me know if you want me to dive into that a little deeper. So what you can do essentially is to create what Google calls a notebook, right? So you can have multiple pieces of information. You can connect your Google Drive. You can put a website link or paste text. And then so you can do multiple sources and then have a conversation. If I'm being honest, at least right now, I think this is better and more useful than Google Gemini, right? Presumably it uses the same technology, but in terms of the interface and being able to, what you can do with this, I think it's actually a little better. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put in this text. All right, I'm going to click insert and you'll see it's going to start processing. All right. And so right away, very quickly, it gives me suggested questions. But here is the new feature right here, this audio overview. It says these are AI generated, so there may be inaccuracies, et cetera, et cetera. All right. I'm going to click generate. All right. And I don't want to have to pause this because I want you to see it in real time. I did do some testing. The first round took a little longer. So if this is looking like it's going to take a while, I'll just show you another version of this. So let's actually jump into another one. So I did this previously. So it gives you other questions, right? So this is the same one that I did. So I can click. So again, very much like an AI chatbot, like Google Gemini, right? It's seemingly a little slower, but what I've seen kind of in my testing so far is the accuracy is much higher. So yeah, this one is taking a while. This was one of the suggested questions saying, what are the strengths and weaknesses of Apple's AI strategy? So here's the thing that I really love. You do get these kind of citations here, and there's a ton. There's a ton of citations. And as far as I know, and we're going to double check this, it's only using that one single source that I put in there, which in this case was literally just one article that I copy and pasted. So presumably, let's see, when I click on this, I think it's going to bring me to that exact point. Yes, it is. So hopefully you can see that in the recording. Let's see here. When I hover over it, okay, good. So that is showing up there on the screen recording. So it's taking me to that exact point of the transcript, right? So here for kind of citation 1, it's going to the 15-minute mark. Here for citation, let's go back up here, citation 2, it's at the 19-minute mark. So one of the biggest problems when working with large language models, generative AI, is, okay, is it hallucinating or not, right? So if you dump a bunch of documents into here, you can kind of hover over and check and make sure that it's bringing up correct information. So then the cool thing here is when I click on that, it's taking me to the exact instance of where that comes up. So this is pretty cool. So I'm going to go ahead and ask a specific question here, and let's see how it handles it, not just the suggested question. I'm trying to think what I talked about in this podcast. Okay, here we go. So I'm going to say, what's new with AirPods? All right. I think I mentioned this very briefly. There were some updates that Apple made. So let's see. So it said Apple released new AirPods with enhanced AI features. The new AirPods, there we go, will include a clinical grade hearing aid. Yeah. So this is great. And the transcript, y'all, let's take a look. This is long. This is thousands of words. This is 45 minutes of conversation. So think of all of the potential use cases here for creating these different notebooks and being able to stack different pieces of information. All right, let's see here. It looks like our original one is still generating. I wanted to do this all in real time, but it does take a little bit of time to create this. So what I'm going to do is, because I want to keep this going live, I'm going to go in. This is the same transcript. I already did the exact same thing. So we're going to listen to this version, and then we'll see if it creates another one by the end of this without having to hit pause. One thing that's a little, not finicky, but it's not super intuitive, is being able to find all of that other information. You have to click this notebook guide, and then it all comes up. So you can also, this is great. You can create an FAQ, a study guide, right? So I can click, help me create an FAQ. It's going to start creating that right there on the side. And then you'll see over here on the left-hand side as well, I can continue to add sources, right? And that's another good thing. You can, have a handful of sources in here. And then when you're chatting or creating, in this instance, an FAQ, you can toggle them on and off, right? So, that was fast. All right. So it's already done. It created a pretty cool FAQ there. Love to see it. And then if I wanted to, I can click this and add new sources. So I could add in, as an example, old podcast I did about Apple Intelligence. I could throw in our newsletter we did, outside sources, etc. And also a 50 source limit. I think I got to do more testing on this, because this is a very impressive offering from Google, if I'm being honest. All right, so it looks like, let's see, yes, it finished. Cool. All right, I didn't want to have to, restart this. So this is the one that I did live. Here we go. Hopefully you can hear this. All right, so let's take a listen. It literally created a podcast based on the transcript of my podcast. Let's listen.
All right, so you sent this article my way, and now we got to dive into it.
Okay, sounds good.
Apple's making some big moves with AI, especially with this new iPhone 16. A lot of hype, but we're going to cut through that, right?
Absolutely. We'll figure out what's really useful, what's just marketing fluff, and most importantly, how it impacts you, even if you're not like running out to get the newest iPhone.
Exactly, because let's face it, not everyone.
I hope you can hear this audio.
Current phone.
This is so good, and the thing that I personally love is I can crank
one thing that jumped out at me from the article you sent was,
this is wild. This is wild. I think this is going to become one of my most used AI tools after this update. Extremely impressive. All right, I hope this is helpful. If so, please go to youreverydayai.com, sign up for the free daily newsletter. Leave me a comment. Let me know if you're watching this. Do you want me to do more on Notebooklm? Should I try to break it? Do pros and cons? Let me know. Thank you for tuning in. We'll see you back for another AI in 5. Thanks, y'all.